Hello!
Hi.
Welcome back. I say welcome back. Anyways, I'm just getting everything set up here. It's a little squishy. Hi! I say welcome back because this is round 2 of a behind the scenes for the Tameana transformation that I'm currently creating for you through me. It's a combination of wisdoms from my toolkit. I'm saying a lot today. What is going on with that? You know what? It's actually funny. Literally, probably about 20 minutes ago, I took one of the tabs for the heart, and it's very interesting. We'll dive deeper into it, but for me, it makes me less up here and more like just feeling. So maybe that wasn't the wisest thing to do just before a video, but that's okay because we're gonna make it through anyways.
I did it too.
So who knows what's gonna happen this round? We don't know.
Yeah.
So today we're going behind the scenes of the last 2 weeks. The last video we did, we were talking about the root and the sacral chakra. And this round we're talking about the solar plexus and the heart chakra. So that is Komateia and Soma Dasesa. These two levels. So that is actually the bridge between the survival instincts. So the last chakra on the survival instinct level is the solar plexus. And the first chakra on the heart intuition planes is the heart. So we actually crossed the threshold over the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have said this last video, but oh my goodness, what a ride. So who am I and what am I doing here and why am I here for you? My name is Hillary Raven Porter. I am an integrative healer and an ascension guide and mentor. I draw upon many wisdoms within my toolkit so that we can walk alongside each other and I can support you as you are stepping over that threshold into that space of your pure divine expression. That space that is not influenced by other things, incorporating the lessons you've learned throughout your life, but so that you may show up in the way that you desire to show up in your life. Attracting the abundance and attracting the energy that serves you and releasing that which no longer serves you. So that is me. Some of the wisdoms I draw upon are like esoteric acupuncture, plant spirit medicine, Tameana crystal healing, guidance, intuitive channeling that I get from my 7 sisters, of which I am 8, and multiple other things. And it's all based on where you are at right now and how we can move you forward. So what exactly is Tameana? You may have heard me talking about this before, but if you're just tuning in now and you haven't heard anything about it, this is a phenomenal vibrational medicine. It's for the new paradigm of healing. It's based on these symbols that were channeled from a gentleman down in South America from the Pleiades. And what happens is these symbols are used with activated crystals. They're activated through these crystals, and it draws down Pleiadian guides to go in and do psychic surgeries within you, to remove things, to add things, to take you to other spaces. We'll go in a little bit to my most recent session that we did, which was...
Whoa.
It would be like... They're always powerful, and what I love about this medicine is it doesn't matter where you are at. There is a benefit if you are a light worker that has done tons of healing, tons of work, you were traveling on an astral plane, you will get different experiences and will benefit and will move forward and transform as well, even when you're on that plane, because they take you to a whole nother plane, a whole nother realm. Whereas if you are walking through this world and you're doing your daily life and you're working in an office and you're just starting to touch into spirituality or not even spirituality based at all, you are going to, so for example, the other lady that is doing this with us, one of her main things that she has found, she has started speaking up in ways, she's like, I don't usually speak like that, but she's done it in compassionate ways and in ways that actually have served her and that have been honest, truthful, and compassionate. But for her, she doesn't necessarily step over that line, and she doesn't want to hurt other people, but not realizing that in the process she is hurting herself. And it's not that she has to hurt other people, but to be able to express in a way that is honest and true for her while still setting her own boundaries, while still respecting how she's presenting it to other people. She's that, and then she's also sleep. After our sessions, she sleeps like 12 hours, and for her, she has a hard time sleeping at night, falling asleep at all, and staying asleep. So she's been gaining more rejuvenative sleep through the processes. So, and I will be giving more updates about that as well as we go along, as her and I touch base some more. But those are the kinds of things. So it works for everybody from the base vibration all the way up to the finest vibrations, anywhere along that scale that you are at right in this moment right now. Yeah, so what is this program that I am doing? We're going to talk a little bit about what is involved in this program. I am going through this program. We are going through this program. The three of us are going through this program because I want to know I know what this medicine does on its own, but the combination of how this program has been brought together, I want to make sure that I know exactly what it can do, as well as how to walk beside you as you are going through it with empathy, and sympathy and compassion and all those things that normally go alongside with being a healer, but knowing what you are going through is different. And I had some very big hits on that this week with the solar plexus chakra especially, which we will dive further into. So what's involved in this program that I'll be rolling out probably, let's see, we're going to see. I'm going to be putting out a wait list within the next couple of weeks, so keep your eyes peeled and your ears tuned, because I'll be letting you know when the wait list is open, because I'll only be able to accept a certain number of people. It'll be a rolling enrollment. They are individual solo sessions that are 8 weeks in length, but I can only do so many in unison at once. Because what do they include? They include 3 or 4 sessions of Tameana. These are all done on a virtual basis. 3 or 4 sessions, because depending on the first symbol that is chosen during the first session depends on if 3 or 4 are needed. There are certain symbols that require more in-depth sessions to be occurring. So that's part of it. Each session is about an hour and a half, and each session is followed up with details about what came through, channeled guidance, visuals for you. We also talk about them after the session, but you will also be getting that in paper form or email form. Then we also have support with me throughout the whole time via different modalities, so that as you are moving through these shifts that are coming up in your life, you're like, is this right? Or how do I move through this? Or how do I release this? I am there guiding and supporting you as you move through that. And then there are some conscious introspection prompts. So for every plane, there are questions that I will send to you to work through, to journal through, to dive even deeper, because Tameana works on the subtle energy levels, on the subconscious levels, bringing things up to your conscious state. So to do these questions, to do these journal prompts, actually helps you also work on that conscious level so that the two can merge and be integrated and interwoven. Then there are the tabs.
Oh, these little friendly guys.
I posted a picture. So what are these tabs that I talk about? So these tabs look like this. Yes, it looks like blotter paper. No, it is not blotter paper. This is actually edible paper. It's like what you would get on a cake. You know, the little edible paper. It's a little tiny square. But what is on this is where the magic happens. What is on this is the essence of the symbol. So you are getting the symbols, activating the crystals when we do our sessions virtually. But then internally, these symbols are going in and finding and honing in on those areas that you need to clear. And a tab is taken. So one tab is taken each and every day, with one plane being for a week. So right now we're on the heart plane. Today is our last day of that. But we have been taking the heart plane since Sunday. So that one is the Somodase Sa. So for example, see, I don't know if you can see because it's really bright. There you go. Somodase Sa. So these were made under the eclipse in January. So in every one of the blotter papers, there was one drop of powerfully encoded energetic medicine for that plane that you were working through in that week. Yes. And then sessions. So sessions can be done locally or distance. With this program, it's all done virtually. It's all done at a distance. And basically the symbols are laid out with the master symbol at the top, and then the crystals are activated in a specific way, which then creates a vortex and a spiral effect that goes up and connects into the Pleiades and connects into the cosmic consciousness and the energetics, while the Pleiadian guides come in and they do their work. And with sessions with myself, also my 7 sisters come in as well. So my recent session, so Derek does the sessions for me and activates the crystals for me. And this most recent session, when did we do it? This is Derek, by the way.
Hi.
Sorry, I just kind of went off. Full disclosure, he's also my partner, which you may know from some of the posts you've seen from me. But we did it Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So Tuesday night.
It's quantum time over here, so.
So quantum time. Like 2 days, and we're like, that was like 2 months ago, right? So Tuesday we did a session. I was awake in monkey mind. This is just kind of what happened. So monkey mind, I couldn't get out. I was just like, I have to do this, I have to do this. My life is kind of really busy right now. Also, this week was kind of challenging because there was some family emergency at a distance from me, but that was very, very powerful and potent and very affected me, which was interesting that we were in the heart space. But so I was in monkey mind, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to be in monkey mind the whole time. I'm not going to get the benefits. I'm not going to enjoy this, blah, blah, blah. Literally, we were at the solar plexus. I felt this energetic push, you know, like the magic boxes that happen, and then they cut the lady in half, and how it would feel to have like that thing going through your side. I felt everything kind of shift this way. And then the next thing I know, I hear, okay, we're done the session.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened during that space?
Well, exactly at that moment. So with my Pleiadian guide and the energetics that were in the room, basically your etheric body, so your etheric double or your astral twin, lifted up and visualized, right? So this came into the room and you guys walked into a portal and then boom, you were gone.
Yeah. And
in that form, then it changed from there. We entered an entirely new space after that, and the whole energetics in the room changed. Mm-hmm. So that was at the exact same moment that you went out.
Yeah.
It was like they took your hand and walked you out there, and then from there it just got extremely cosmic from that point.
Yeah, there was a lot. Like we have pages and pages and pages of what we see, because when we do these sessions, so when I do a session on Derek and with my clients, I am downloading words and phrases and images and all these things that can come up for the different levels, because with every session we work through every plane. Mm-hmm. So we start at the root chakra and move all the way up to the crown chakra with every single session, but then for each week you're focusing on a different plane to potentiate the medicine, the vibrational healing within you. So I came out of it. I heard this, okay, we're done. I came out and I was shifted. So there was a lot of animal medicine that came up. Giraffe and possum came up.
Yep.
And I was walking like a giraffe down the hallway. I was quite out of it. Mm-hmm. He was beside me the whole time. I was like, I need a bath, because for me water is my thing, and I was just like, I need a bath. But I was shifted. I was in this other state, and I was just channeling stuff, and stuff was coming through, and I could feel this shifting. And so I went in the tub, and then all of a sudden I got these hits about clearing versus releasing, which if you go over to my YouTube channel, Hillary Raven Porter, you can see I posted the video. I did a talk about clearing versus releasing. And it was stuff that was channeled down through me through the Pleiades. They don't even have the term clearing within their vocabulary, because you always want to retain the lesson, which you do not do when you have a clearing. You do not retain the lesson. You clear everything. Everything is deleted. So then you are more apt to actually repeat those things that cause those lessons until you retain the lesson. So that's the difference between releasing and clearing. So head on over, you can check that out over there. There's more information there. But literally I'm laying in the tub and I was just like, blah, 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 blah. And then that night I felt, and during the session I had felt my body, I was like a werewolf. I felt my body, you know how you'd think a werewolf would feel, because their body and their bones and everything's cracking and realigning and shifting. And I literally felt like I had been broken apart and was being reassembled like Lego, which was crazy.
Yeah.
That night I had more dreams about that. The next morning I woke up and my hip was out. Not completely dislocated, but it felt very close to. So blessed to have another healer in the house, and he was able to Reiki and massage the hip. And then that night it was my foot, left foot. And then the next day I was like, it still feels out. It feels great now, but everything within my body has felt shifted and changed, and like it's different. It's different. So that's the depth and the breadth that this can go from. Everything from metamorphosis to really deep cosmic sleep.
And that's what I like about this stuff, is with regeneration processes too. You could go get it like scanned in a medical room, and like say your spine would literally move as it's realigning.
Yeah.
So as these things happen energetically, they move in the auric layers and the different fields that you have, but then they also move physically too, and realign you to where you need to be.
Wow.
It's powerful stuff.
It's super powerful, and not to be taken lightly, but at the same time is so gentle, which is interesting. Okay, so here we go. So we've talked about the chats, we've talked about some things. Let's dive into the chakras. So, komataya. I think I'm pronouncing that close to right.
Yeah.
Como te is the solar plexus. Solar plexus plane, solar plexus chakra. Once again, there are the 7 planes, and within the 7 planes, there are another 7 planes, and within the 7 planes, there's another. Very, very fractal. So even when you're working on like the solar plexus chakra, at this level, you are also working at the solar plexus chakra, the solar plexus level within each of the other 7 planes. So like plane 3 within plane 1, right? Let me know if that makes sense to you, if you have any questions about that. But it's very fractal, and so you're always, because everything is a piece of everything, right? So
would you like me to start it off?
You start, and then I will ground it out in this earthly plane.
Sounds good. Well, that whole general region that we call the solar plexus, or that third plane, right? That's when you reach a consciousness level that goes, what they say, beyond animal. Though in my thought process, they're both incredibly intelligent and mystical and magical. So you reach that human consciousness state.
Because we are animals.
Bingo. And then you have your electric power center. It's the solar disk of that area. So what did I write down here? It's pretty wild. So the electric power drive universe main plug-in center.
Can you explain that?
So that's basically like your storehouse of your energy. So when you're not running on instinct, but you're choosing consciously to, I'm going to go climb that mountain right now. I'm going to get on my bike and go for a fast ride. I'm going to put that energy in and get this done because I really want to do this. That energy stores in that general area and becomes your capacity, depending on what level you're at, of what you can house, what you can hold, and what you're generating. So basically think of it as the light that you can visibly see. And there's more to light than that, but that's the physical aspect that goes right into your solar plexus.
Solar.
Think
of the term.
The sun.
Solar. The sun. Sun center, the plexus, the like interweaving mesh.
Right. And then when people go and get a lot of energetic work, I can speak with Reiki specifically. If you're depleted in some areas, there's 2 spots. Like we're talking really depleted in your overall field. You'll charge up the solar plexus as the main part that they always instruct you to go to, because then everything else can feed from that. And that's the general organs that we work with that people are more like used to working with. You know, your stomach and your digestions and that whole general region. It just gives you all that natural energy in there to go. So that's where we fill it up the most. And which also relates to your incarnational star as well too. Because just over on the right side there, you have your connection to the golden ray, which was the very first cell that happened as you incarnated into this body as well too. So if you're going through some past life stuff in the relation to the DNA with the bloodlines that you currently have now, or going back right until you were born, inner child, teenager, all that stuff, that's the zone that it's going to work from. Super cool.
So that is one level of experience, and that's the thing. As we're talking about these, that's one. I mean, we have, like I said, we have pages and pages and pages. So everybody is different. Everybody has different experiences, and that's why we are sharing this with you as well, to show. And we are going into this asking as well, like, show us everything that can possibly come about of this. That is also our intention in doing this. Yes, is to shift through it and see how it shifts our bodies, but also it's so that we have more knowledge. I have more knowledge based on the possibilities for you. And it depends on where you're at and what lessons you are moving through and what you were shedding. So, solar plexus. This one was really, 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 really ultra challenging for me. It was a week where I just wanted to cry all week. I was upset, I was irate, I was angry, I was pessimistic, I was malcontent with everything. Nothing felt right. Any tiny little error that I made, I got myself up. I was down on myself. I was like, nope, I fucked it up. That's it. We're done. Like, nothing's going to work right. I might as well just drop what I'm doing and move back to an office. I used to be a mortgage underwriter, and I was like, well, maybe I'll just call the bank and see if they'll let me come back to that. I mean, it's been years, but like literally I was like, I'll just go to the office. I'll just be like, I'll just do what they tell me to do. I'll no longer be practicing this that is nourishing me. It doesn't matter. Like, I was so pessimistic and perfectionistic. And so if nothing happened the way I originally intended, I was like, nope, done with it. And what's hilarious, we talk about quantum time. It
Mm-hmm.
felt like forever, and it was on day 2 or day 3. It was like partway through day 3 that I was like, wait a minute, I recognize this. This was me when I was in my 20s. It's not that I was an angry person in my 20s, but what it was doing is it was bringing up, one, I was very, very perfectionist. I was very OCD. Everything had to be just right. And I would get more angry at myself than I would at other people, but it was an internal anger. It was an I don't feel worthy. I don't feel like I can be myself. And there was, because it's all about that personal power, that independence, that self identity. And I was still finding myself back then. I've always expressed myself in a certain way, but I never felt fully comfortable doing it because I didn't feel worthy. And that's what this was bringing up for me in that week. It brought up the depression that I used to get. It brought up everything, the anxiety that I used to get. And I was like, what is going on? I have not felt this literally for over a decade in this intensity, in this sadness. I was replaying all these patterns, but I was still, once again, disconnected from it. I was in it, and then I was like, wait a minute. I was able to see it for what it was, which I used to not be able to. When I was in it, I was in it. It even brought up, I'm done. I do not want to do this. I am not offering, I'm done working through this program. I'm just going to like offer the program, but I'm done working through it myself. Whatever. Completely done. Which was interesting because the reason I did not want to continue going through it was because of all the work. We even talked about it on week 3, and we were like, oh man, how many more weeks do we have left to go? Like 5 more weeks left to go.
Yep.
Because we kept, I want to say get knocked to our knees. We were still functional. That's the thing. I say get knocked to our knees in the sense of you're like, oh, so we're also clearing the house out right now. And I've really been like, nope, I'm done. I need a weekend off. I'm not clearing out the closets this weekend. I need to stop purging things because I was purging in my physical life. Plus, I was releasing in my spiritual life and my energetic life. And it was just like, it's almost like when you get decision fatigue and you're just like, done. But what I really loved about having this experience was it showed me that at this level, at the solar plexus plane, is when more support, more compassion is required. And also, it allows me and shows me what you may go through. I'm not going to say will, may go through at this level of just like, I am doing the work, I am peeling back these layers. This is challenging. This is a whole revamping of my life from the inside energetic levels, which will then manifest outwards and attract the things. Because what's so beautiful is I worked through this level, and the abundance that showed up in my life immediately after that. Oh, all the hairs are standing up on
Yeah.
my body right now. But all the abundance, I've slowly been seeing abundance coming in and coming in and coming in. But all of a sudden after that, it was just boom, abundance, offerings of assistance to go and see my father, offerings of other people to really look at how our relationships were interwoven and working together and how we can actually move forward more abundantly with that abundance of physical things like food coming in,
Nutrients from the food.
nutrients from the food
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in, abundance of my child who's already, he's like a bundle of sparkly, bouncy, heart-filled wackiness. Really, he is. And that
It's
even
pure
just like,
beautiful.
yeah, he's pretty beautiful. And just his expansion coming out and just like everything after this level. So for me, this level was the sticking point. But what's also interesting about this level, it is the transition from, like I said, survival instinct level to heart intuition level. Because heart intuition level is from the heart up. Survival intuition level is from the solar plexus down. And it was that transition, stepping over that threshold, that push. It's like when you're on a workout regime, when you're in a diet regime, if you're doing something new and you're just like pushing through and you're like, oh, this is challenging, but I know if I just go for another week with this new workout regime, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm in the flow of this. This is great. This was that hump.
Yeah.
And it makes complete sense going from the denser planes up into the more finer vibrations, the physical, more to the spiritual and the energetic, which is, I tend to live more up here a lot in the finer vibrations, in the more spiritual realms, but can get stuck when they come up in the denser vibrations. And I get really stuck. And it can take a lot to shift me out of that. So this was that like, unclogging of the drain. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that's like, but that's kind of what like the image I'm getting.
But it works on a bone in a cellular way too. So
Mm-hmm.
especially with the bone stuff, it gets right down to the core.
So
Like very physical,
it's
actually.
very, very physical. So
Mm-hmm.
this works on so many levels for the healings. I also, you know what else I just realized? So I have a thyroid. I have an underactive thyroid,
Yeah.
and I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune condition of the thyroid, and it actually flared
Wow.
in week 3 because
Hmm.
I was dealing with it all this past week. And by flared, it means my body starts attacking itself, which then makes it produce more thyroid hormone, which puts me in this hyperactive state and very like ultra type A. Let's just say that. Super ultra type A. And that's also when that got triggered.
Mm-hmm.
So the healing of the different things that are coming about, because it is a fear response of the body to be like, no, this is what you're used to.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
so so that was the solar plexus. That are some of the things that can be seen to occur during these phases of the solar plexus plane. And so let's move on to Somodase Sa.
Wow. And that's just scratching the surface,
Yeah,
really, of what goes down.
100%.
Oh
So
boy.
Somodase Sa. Somadase Sa.
Yeah, the heart, plane 4.
So these are the essences I'm showing you here. So Somodase Sa. Plane 4, which is the heart, like
Mm-hmm.
Derek said. So have at her.
Have at her. So
Have
a
at
lot
her.
of people have heard of, and if you haven't, I just go off cosmic wise. But Christed consciousness, the emerald heart, the rose pink center of that whole plane is your heart. This is the astral bridge. Now I'm combining a couple together because we have so many notes. So this bridge connects you to the top half and the second and the lower half of your body.
Which is what we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Stepping over the threshold.
Exactly. So it brings you in that place where everything kind of connects. So this is where the fifth dimensional light body comes from. Terms used are rainbow and crystalline, indigo children. That's the crystalline DNA templates. So these are the ones that are like changing your entire crystalline inside your body from carbon based to crystalline. And these are templates that are being infused with us, and the heart brings you into those centers. Now, the fifth dimensional light body is the merger of, it's not exactly 50, but it's like 50% physical and 50% all etheric. And the two meeting together in that half. And when you integrate the two, it's like when people have their first taste of energy work, or they start to realize that energy is everywhere and everything has particles, whatever your take is on it, then you have a whole new sensation inside of your body.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel all of that inside of you.
100%.
So then you start to merge those two together, and over time, it brings you slowly more into alignment. Once you've consciously noticed it, as long as you've spent more than like one passing on it, it sticks with you for the rest of your life, especially if you've had a big, I'll call it awakening, but a moment with it where it really like resonates with you. So this brings you into all of those templates. So when you're releasing some of your patterns to work on, or some new codes are coming in, downloads, it will work with those templates and assist you through the heart center.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty radical stuff.
So even though we're working on, I like that point of like, we're working on these vibrational energies and these vibrational medicines with this. But we have to remember, because some people are like, oh, but that's all the etheric stuff. You are vibrating right now. Everything around us is vibrating right now. Some is just in more of a dense form than another. Like I'm looking at this chair and it's made out of wicker. Yes, it looks solid, but when you get down to it, it's vibrating with these little tiny atoms and molecules are just like, it's the same thing within you.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, you alter that vibration, it's going to alter your physical expression. It's going to alter any challenge that you have going in your body. And there is always going to be a bit of dissonance because your body is a denser vibration than your spirit. But that dissonance, the more it's like this, the more challenges you have physically. So the more you're able to align those, the less challenges you have. Because that's part of it, is they're like, oh, like your spirit's like, but I want to be up here, and your body's like, but I'm down here. It's kind of like Eeyore and Tigger.
Exactly.
Like one's like ding 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 ding, and one's like ho hum. But you can meet in the middle, and this level can influence this level. It can only go so far, but it can influence it. And once you get this level going up, once you get the denser vibrations moving up into the etheric levels, it feels different. I don't even know how to explain it. You feel expansive.
Yeah.
You feel so expansive. You feel so connected. Things feel fluid. I mean, there's some clumsiness that happens while you're shifting.
Because
We
it's
know
plasmatic
that.
as well,
So
too, right?
plasmatic.
Relearning how to move the body.
It's crazy. So.
And things start up. The physical is the last one to manifest.
Yeah.
So everything enters into your auric field, and then it goes down from there. So it is a very important feature to work on.
100%.
Because you can catch it way before it even starts.
It's like, you have a sniffle, and if you sleep properly and eat properly, by properly, I mean in alignment with health, then you're less likely to get the cold. And it's the same thing if you're working on these fields, and you can't see my hand way out here, but it's way out here in the ether, so you can't even see it. And then it's slowly coming in. But if you can stop it before it gets in, or in Chinese medicine, we like wind, cold, wind, heat, and it's the exposure of the back of the neck, and it can enter that way. But if you protect that, and you get to it before it manifests fully, and it's the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
So soma dase sa.
Yeah.
Mine was a little more. This one I actually didn't have that much written down from, because I realized it allowed me to work on a different level in the sense of feeling. And when I get into the feeling state, it's less in my head. So when I first took my first tab, so all the other tabs, the bottom 3 levels, so the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. Mm-hmm. I would say that every single one of them knocked me to my knees. And I had to take the tabs at night, because literally if I took them in the morning, I needed to sleep throughout the day. And it hit me really hard, and it really affected me throughout the day. So I would take my tab at night, which was completely, whereas you took yours constantly in the morning. Mm-hmm. When we got to the heart one, I took my first one, and literally, so I took it at night, expecting, I felt like an atom bomb of my heart. I was laying down, and I'd taken it, and I was like just sitting, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read for a bit. And all of a sudden, it was just like, and it literally felt like the heart atom bomb was dropped in the middle of my chest, and everything just went out from there. And it was just this like expansive, like, I ended up getting a painting idea out of it. Like, it was just beautiful. And I was like, oh, that's happening. And then it just kept on expanding, and I actually started crying because I had this overwhelming sense of love and connection. And then I started getting all the images of all the people that I used to hold in love within my life, that there are holes within that love now for whatever reason. So by this, I am meaning past partnerships that I've had. Those are the ones that have come up most recently. And it was interesting because they, like, literally the person would come up, and he's like, how do I help heal this? How do I fill this with love? And all it was, like, I wasn't consciously doing it. I was just like, oh, why are these coming up? And I was like, oh, right, because we're working on the heart, and these are the ones that I still don't feel closure. But closure isn't the word, because to me, closure means it's closed and it's gone. But I don't like to just be like, oh, that never happened, done. And so there was this image of each person, and it was like filling this cup with love, this light that was from this atom bomb. It just kept filling it and filling it and filling it. And the one, it definitely not cleared. It released, and it was different. I was able to view this relationship and the way that it has gone, and where we are now differently. And then the other one, it showed me all of these things of just like, you cannot change this. This is the way it is. This is theirs to bear. They may never get to that space. And it was very comforting in that same state to learn these things and be like, okay, just keep approaching it with love the way I do, to the best that I can. And what's funny is things did actually shift in that relationship throughout the week. So the vibration actually went out and shifted these things. So yeah, all the arrows. Physically, it blasted out of my C7 spine. So, cervical spine. So like right here. It's like if you feel the back, you can like feel a little bump. It's like it's where I always like, see old people, and they've got the hunch, and they've got the bump right there. That's C7 and cervical spine 7. And it blasted out of there and up and out, and then it rotated around back through the heart, and then up through the throat, and then shone out this way.
Whoa.
So it allows heart expression. It allows you to speak from your heart, because this is our vocal expression. This is our expression. This is how we actually voice. So Soma Dasesa allows you to speak from your heart. Speak from your heart. Because how many times have you been in a situation and there's something you really, really want to say from here? You're like, no, I can't. I'm scared. It's vulnerable. Whatever. Reason. That seems right for you, those reasons. well, this allows you to express that, and it's okay. And you feel safe to do that, even though you don't know what the other person's going to say. But you know what? You cannot control other people, and that's what this allows you to realize.
Mm-hmm.
You speak it, which was interesting because I ended up totally doing that in some areas that where I was feeling kind of about speaking it. And I was like, no, I'm going to speak it, and their emotions are theirs to control, not mine. But I need to express this. So like I said, we have reached these levels. I'm curious to see, we start our new level tomorrow, which is our throat, which is Soma. I think it's Soma, is our throat one, to see how these maintain their softness. Because even though they aren't like knocking, for me, I definitely feel things differently, but they're not knocking me to my knees, but it's just as powerful. I have moved every single day that I've done the tab. I have moved through in a softer state. It's like, I'm going to say marshmallow state. I don't know.
That's a good way of putting it.
You know?
I'm getting blasted over here too, by the way.
But it's like marshmallow state of just like, yeah, he's getting blasted in a different way. I'm like knocked to my knees, like woohoo, like physical. We talked about it, and we both work in the spiritual plane, but I bring mine into like tangible earthly forms.
Yeah.
And he just stays up there.
My spaceships will fly around, Earth ships, and I'll just land on 15 different planets.
Yeah, he goes up there,
minutes.
and I'm just like, okay, come down just a little bit. I am making it palatable. Not palatable, but like...
Understandable. This is
understandable.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's kind of, yes. Because it's all palatable. But that's the difference, is like this one, marshmallow state. Take the tab, and you feel softer towards everything in this certain space, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. And then even though there was a lot of intensity happening this week for me, I cried a ton. This week was all about tears, but I mean, like I said, there was some stuff happening with my family. But what was interesting is when I cried, usually I'd be like, I'm at work, I shouldn't cry, or I'll go cry and then wipe up my tears. No, I like bawled my face off in the back room, wiped my face. You could totally tell that I was not doing well, but I still went out and I was still able to connect with people and be like, hey, and like still see the joy in things, which I normally can anyways. I feel like I'm pretty good at moving through the emotions, but this was even a step up of moving through the emotions and allowing people would be like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, you know what, I'm actually pretty good with the side of like challenge. And they'd be like, oh, what's going on? And we'd like have these really great conversations. And so it was like a step up even further than the normal openness in which I approach moving out in the world with. So
we got marshmallow, right? And then before we said plasma effects, another one I like to use is kind of like a soft, wet, malleable clay.
Yeah, totally.
That's like constantly animating a little bit. That's where the
kind
fractal
of like
comes in. Exactly.
Multiple colors too.
I just want to slip one more thing in because it was huge for me this week, but it tapped into like this plane 4, the Soma Dase Sa, that tapped into your ability to go to max with your gratitude. And it'll show you what level you're at and where that can really go. Because once you start putting out gratitude in every form, that's when that magnet comes and works really good with the third plane, bringing in all of that abundance.
And there was a lot of abundance this week, too.
Huge.
On every level.
On all levels. Yeah. Everywhere I looked was abundance.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. Because there was the abundance of challenges.
Exactly.
But there was the abundance that was like, double the abundance.
Greatest challenges, biggest gains.
Biggest gain. Yeah, like double abundance for the single level of challenges. And it was just like, oh, you've got these? Okay. Right. Let's offset that and like weigh it to like help you release those things and work through those things. And then leave you with some abundance.
Exactly.
To begin with.
And humans, like all beings, are connected. So when you heal some stuff in yours, then you reach out to those other timelines and you help bring things up for others or clear some other things along the way. Yeah. It's hyper connected like that. Yeah. So that's where all these other stories pop up. Yeah. It's amazing. Blows my mind.
Yeah, because you're tethered to other people and other situations and other things and even this plane, other planes. So
karma.
Totally. Okay, so see, what I find interesting is I have no idea how long this video's been because it doesn't actually show you a counter.
Oh, cool.
I know.
Yep.
Feels like 5 minutes. Okay, so that is another behind the scenes. We will be popping on again in another couple of weeks to actually do another, to talk about the next 2 levels. Like I said, these ones are going to be the throat and the third
which has
eye.
thymus and the hara line too, your fifth dimensional chakra centers.
So we'll talk about more of that then. And so we're going to be doing these two, which is very, very interesting. I also, at that time, will be starting to open up the wait list to get on to get into the sessions, to get into your own transformational portal. I'm so excited to be starting this and to be offering this, and it is powerful, potent medicine that I truly believe has the level to shift and to change and to move you forward into that space that you deserve, that you are worth, so that you can express the way that you feel you would love to. Okay, that is all from us for today.
Yeah, beaming love and light to you all out there.
Yeah, an abundance of love and stardust from me. Okay.
Yeah.
Mwah. Have a great rest of your weekend. We will see you soon.